Aegon's military genius and political strategy unified Westeros into a single realm. This summary highlights the key battles and events that shaped Aegon's campaign to unite the Seven Kingdoms. At the time of Aegon's invasion, Westeros was divided into 7 independent kingdoms. The Targaryens, settled on Dragonstone, had shown little interest in expansion until Aegon envisioned a unified realm supported by his dragons, Balerion, Vhagar, and Meraxes. His preparation included forging alliances and ensuring that his enemies stayed divided. Aegon's conquest began at Blackwater Rush, where he built a fort that became King's Landing. His first victory came with the burning of Harrenhal. When King Harren the Black refused to surrender, Aegon unleashed Balerion, melting Harrenhal's towers and killing Harren's family. He rewarded House Tully, naming them Lords Paramount of the Riverlands, securing loyalty in key regions. In the Stormlands, Rhaenys Targaryen and Orys Baratheon defeated Argilac the Arrogant at the Battle of the Last Storm. Orys then married Argilac's daughter, establishing Baratheon control over the Stormlands. Aegon's greatest victory was at the Battle of the Field of Fire. The combined forces of the Reach and the Rock were decimated by the Targaryen dragons. The death of King Mern IX of the Reach and the surrender of King Loren Lannister brought both the Reach and Westerlands under Aegon's control. He installed House Tyrell as rulers of the Reach and allowed Loren to keep his title, securing peace and loyalty. In the Vale, Visenya Targaryen flew to the Eyrie, where young King Ronald Arryn submitted without a fight, awed by the dragons. Similarly, the North avoided bloodshed when King Torrhen Stark bent the knee to Aegon, recognizing resistance was futile, earning the title the King Who Knelt. Dorne alone resisted Aegon's conquest. Princess Marya Martell employed guerrilla tactics, refusing to engage in open battle. Aegon's dragons were ineffective in Dorne's terrain, and after years of campaigning, Aegon withdrew. The campaign's greatest loss was Rhaenys, killed when her dragon Meraxes was struck by a Dornish scorpion bolt. Dorne did not join the realm until a century later, through marriage alliances. Aegon's conquest reshaped Westeros, establishing a unified realm ruled by House Targaryen. His strategic use of dragons, political alliances, and clemency toward loyal houses secured his legacy as the founder of the Iron Throne.
In the annals of Westeros, few tales are as compelling as the burning of Harrenhal, a dramatic exemplification of the power shift heralded by Aegon Targaryen's conquest. The narrative begins with King Harrenhal, known as Harren the Black. A formidable ruler of the Ironborn, Harren epitomized hubris and pride. Desiring to consolidate his dominion over the Riverlands, he constructed Harrenhal, a mighty castle on the banks of the God's Eye, believing it to be indestructible, an unassailable fortress that would endure the test of time. However, its completion coincided with the advent of Aegon Targaryen's arrival in Westeros. Aegon, alongside his sisters Rhaenys and Visenya, sought to unite the Seven Kingdoms under a single banner, their own. Armed with dragons, a weapon unseen in Westeros, the Targaryens embarked on a mission to conquer the fragmented kingdoms. The conflict between Harren and Aegon reached its climax under the ominous shadow of Harrenhal. Despite warnings from his sons and advisors, Harren scoffed at the notion of surrender or negotiation. Harren's belief in the castle's invulnerability defined his ill-fated strategy. "No dragon will ever bring down Harrenhal," he is said to have declared, his words dripping with defiance. Aegon, pragmatic and relentless, rode to meet Harren, offering him one last chance to bend the knee. Harren's reply was predictably scornful. Aegon ordered his dragon, Balerion the Black Dread, into action. On a moonless night, Balerion ravaged Harrenhal, the dragon's fire melting stone walls as though they were wax and turning the sky a ghastly hue of crimson and ash. The inferno that engulfed Harrenhal not only claimed the lives of Harren and his kin, but also served as a symbolic annihilation of the Old Order, paving the way for the Targaryen reign. Witnesses recounted vivid scenes, walls that glowed red with molten heat and towers crumbling like sandcastles against the roaring tide. Harrenhal's invincibility was revealed for the myth it truly was. Aegon's victory at Harrenhal did not just extinguish Harren's lineage, it ingrained the Aegon agenda in the fabric of Westerosi history. The tale of Harrenhal's burning circulated, reaching every corner of the land, a potent reminder of the danger of hubris and the unstoppable force of change commanded by fire and blood.
In the aftermath of Aegon the Conqueror's initial triumph in Westeros, the lands remained fraught with tensions and conflicts awaiting resolution. House Targaryen's unyielding pursuit of conquest saw the celestial onslaught of its most formidable emissaries, Rhaenys and Visenya Targaryen, sisters and wives of Aegon himself. The dichotomy of these women showcased not just martial prowess, but the interplay of strategic intellect and raw ferocity. Rhaenys, with her penchant for diplomacy, navigated the intricate political web of Westeros with a grace that belied her formidable threat on the battlefield. Her dragon, Meraxes, inspired both awe and terror, his presence a harbinger of her tactical genius. The lands of Dorne stood as her eager endeavor, their defiance a thorn she sought to pluck with offers of alliance rather than obliteration. Her deft negotiations almost brought Dorne under Targaryen rule without the cost of blood, a rare testament to a different path in conquest. Yet, the Dornish sun was not easily dimmed, and resistance persisted, leading to the infamous First Dornish War. It was in the thick of these battles that Rhaenys' fate became legend. Her rumored demise atop Meraxes over the formidable Hellholt cast a shadow of sorrow and determination over her legacy. Her loss was not just personal, but a bitter reminder of the cost of conquest. Visenya, by contrast, wore the mantle of war effortlessly. Her dragon, Dagger, a symbol of devastating power, mirrored her unyielding spirit. Where Rhaenys offered diplomacy, Visenya wielded might, carving paths of fire through the armies that dared oppose her. Her campaigns were notable in the regions that required unmitigated force. Her involvement in the Vale of Arryn, where the might of the Royces and Arryn stood firm, was particularly strategic. It was said that her gaze alone could emasculate even the most hardened warrior, yet it was her sharp blend of combat and sorcery that profoundly influenced the trajectory of her victories.
The Battle of the Field of Fire represents a pivotal moment in the annals of Westerosi history, marking the consolidation of power under Aegon Targaryen. With his legendary dragons and tactical brilliance, Aegon achieved a victory that forever altered the political landscape of the realm. In 4AC, Aegon, alongside his sisters Rhaenys and Visenya, endeavored to unite the fractured kingdoms of Westeros. The confrontation occurred on the vast, grassy plains situated between the Gold Road and the Blackwater Rush, known henceforth as the Field of Fire. The opposing forces consisted of a formidable alliance between King Larenai Lannister of the Westerlands and King Mern Ninegardener of the Reach. Collectively, the alliance amassed 55,000 men, dwarfed only by the exceptional pact of their leadership. Confidence abounded, fueled by a historic animosity towards the invader from the east. Aegon brought 10,000 men, a fraction of his adversaries' numbers. However, his dragons, Balerion, Vhagar, and Meraxes, would tilt the balance of power. These creatures were not merely symbols of fear but weapons of strategic value, entrusted to be wielded with precision and ferocity by their riders. The battle commenced with traditional formations, yet it was the moment when the dragons descended that it transformed into a tempest of chaos and flame. Aegon, mounted on the colossal Balerion, unleashed a dreadful pyre upon the enemy ranks. The air buzzed with the inferno's heat as entire divisions were reduced to ashes within minutes. King Mern Ninegardener perished in the conflagration, leaving Loren Lannister to reassess his stance. Witnessing the inexorable might of Targaryen's dragons and the devastating impact of their assault, Loren chose survival. Kneeling before Aegon amidst the charred remains of his forces, he surrendered, pledging fealty to the newly crowned ruler. The ramifications of this iconic victory were profound. Aegon solidified his dominion over Westeros, establishing the Iron Throne. The Targaryen dynasty, forged in fire, became a definitive force shaping the future of the Seven Kingdoms. The Battle of the Field of Fire is more than a tale of conquest, it illustrates the technological and strategic superiority that dragons provided. It set a precedent for Targaryen rule, steeped in awe and fire, indelibly marking history as one of the greatest military triumphs ever achieved in Westeros. In transforming ambition into reality, Aegon demonstrated the fiery essence that underscored their rightful claim to the land.